Welcome to WVTC TV Network, capturing family moments in real time, bringing families closer together from the comforts of home. We are unleashing something different to the world. Start your subscription today for the low price of $4.99 per month or $55 annually. Go to www.wvtctvnetwork.com to sign up today. WVTC TV Network is streaming live on 8 different platforms. You can easily download the WVTC TV Network app on the Apple Store, Play Store, Roku, Fire TV, and more. Here at WVTC TV, we have access to movies that everyone can enjoy, including independent films, Sons of a Preacher and a Good Thing, Treasures of Life, the epic drama, The Passion of the Christ, and the box office hit Madagascar Escape to Africa. Remember, go to www.wvtctvnetwork.com and sign up today.
To be honest and upfront about what it is that you want, and then it's also in that piece of talking about your expectations.
I'm afraid he's impacting. I always say there's nothing wrong with impact as long as it's impact.
Hey, praise the Lord, saints. I pray that you are having a blessed day. Thank you for joining another week's episode of the Ril Inspired Word. I am Bishop Sherman Henderson, the Senior Pastor of Revival and Land Missionary Baptist Church, located 9134 South on Cottage Grove Avenue.
And I'm Minister Marquise Holyfield. Good morning, y'all. So good to be with y'all on this Saturday morning. You know, the weather is changing. It seems like we so slowly getting into the cold weather, y'all. I'm not ready because I'm a hot weather girl. I know.
So it's November.
I know.
But while you all will be in the cold next week, I will be thinking of you. You will be in my prayers as I will be in sunny Jamaica.
Yes. Bishop will be enjoying sun. I wish I could go and jump in his suitcase.
You should have told me. We'd have hooked it up.
I know, we should.
We could have had a couples trip. Yeah. But next time. Okay. Praise the Lord. But we got an exciting show for you, everybody, today. I'm excited. A lot that's been going on.
Oh, my God. It has been a lot been going on. So, of course, y'all all know, last week was an interesting week. We have a new president-elect. It's a return of a president-elect, and a lot of us was not happy about it. However,
do you think he played the LL Cool J Don't Call It a Comeback thing in this thing?
I don't think so. I just, it's one of these things where I'm trusting God and believing God. So, I have a whole lot of like, this is going to be interesting. That's all I keep saying. It's going to be interesting. I thank God that you're on the throne. I remember going to bed that night going, God, you know what you're doing.
Well,
that's what I said before
it was an interesting election. One of the things that I had always thought in the back of my mind was America ready for a woman president, especially a Black woman president, right? So, the country spoke, and, it's interesting. But the one thing that I have confidence in is the American people, and we know that it doesn't matter who lives in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It matters about who sits on the throne. And so we know that God is still God, and God all by himself. That never changes. And I know there's a lot of people who are disappointed, and some people are saddened, but I think some people are going overboard with their sadness. I heard there were 2,000 suicides.
What?
2,000 suicides.
I didn't hear that. Now, I did hear that there was 7 million people who was Googling, how do I change my vote? When they started hearing his policies that he was getting ready to put in place immediately.
So one of the things I've been working on and doing is just talking with people about staying calm, like, right? So we know every time you have an election, somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. And no matter what happens, the side who loses always feel like it's the end of the world, you know? And that's just not the case, you know, when you think about it. So for instance, a lot of people are like concerned about the policies, but you know, if the Department of Education gets eliminated, the federal government only contributes 10% to that anyway. The rest is state, you know, contributions. And you know, with the Social Security, you know, a lot of that those budgets, they're talking about discretionary spending. Some of those things are baked in and really can't be moved. Right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's the piece. Yeah, I know Department of Education is the one is the big one for everybody, especially because they're the one who regulates Title IX. And you know, we do have a couple, you know, states and areas that don't necessarily want to put in all the different pieces of Title IX. So I think people are a little bit hesitant to some of those pieces. I think also the thing that's affecting people is what changes that they may try to do to the Affordable Care Act, which, okay, we all know.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to touch that. I think that one is so far reaching and touch so many people, because you got to remember, there's going to be an election in 2 years. So
for Congress, for sure.
So in 2 years, everybody on the House of Representatives is going to be up for duo. So that's why I say that we have to realize that we have balanced checks and balances in the country, because there's a lot of people on both sides of the aisle that benefit from the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, I know, and I think some of the people. Good. Happy Saturday, Latrice.
Hey, Latrice.
And I think that's some of the people who there was concerned that didn't realize. It's interesting because Jimmy Kimmel was doing a couple shorts afterwards. And one of the things he was asking people the day after the election, who are you going to vote for today? People didn't even realize that it was just the day before. And then some people didn't even realize who was on the ticket. So I was like, it's interesting how some people are informed and some people are uninformed. And I think it's one of those things that I think the lesson learned here is two things. The first lesson is you have to study and show yourself approved. And so the word of God says that for the word, but it also means that for life in general, you have to research and see what your candidates are standing in for. And so you cannot be surprised. You have to be able to see what's on the full ballot before you just blatantly just vote down the line. Because I know some people for years, they just vote down the line because it's how I've always voted. But I think it's key and important that we do something differently and be more intentional about our right to vote and making sure that we educate it and we know what decisions that we're making and not making decisions out of emotions. Because I think a lot of people make decisions out of emotions, the economy and different things is going on. And yes, the economy is very interesting right now. The price of eggs is still at $4 and it's hard.
And so what I see me, I'm an independent, so I get to sit back and I do vote, but I get to sit back and kind of watch both sides, and both sides are kind of passionate. I believe in a 2-party system. I'm not a 3 and 4 party system person. It's just I choose to move by inspiration of the Holy Spirit rather than just rubber stamp anything. But one of the things that was interesting is you have to see how the candidate won and what were the factors, right? And so one of the things but if you think about those are two things that one side didn't talk about a lot.
I know.
Was the economy, right? So it became about some of the social issues and to be honest, some of those social issues that they were sticking the flag in the ground for were controversial, issues, right? And so I just think that it's a learning lesson. The one thing that I always say is that from my studying political science is whoever speaks to the lowest needs on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs generally win. So what happens is sometimes with one party, they talk about these lofty goals and people are worried about how am I going to eat? The first thing going on is how am I going to eat? How am I going to be safe? And so when you listen to the message that the right was talking about, it was about safety, immigration.
They put a lot of that in
the dogs, they're eating the cats. While people laughed at that, those were triggers, right?
Yep.
That motivated people. And then you have to realize that, good, bad, or indifferent, Kamala didn't receive as many votes as Hillary did.
Yeah.
In the election. And so
but we also talked about there were a lot of people that said that they wasn't going to vote. And then when you start to look down and how they split the vote up, a lot of men voted for our president-elect.
25% 25% of the black male vote.
I
Or was
know.
it 20%?
Yeah, 20% of the
25
black male
African
vote, and
American.
then in the white vote. And they kept saying that in some of the smaller counties, smaller rural counties, people who normally don't go out and vote went out and voted in higher records than they've ever seen before. So I think it's a combination of different things. It's going to be interesting to watch these next 4 years and see what his administration actually does. Will he actually keep the promises that he said? Looking at, because I was just looking at when they was talking about the different things where he was talking about where he wants to cut taxes and so forth. And what's that going to do to the overall debt ceiling and so forth.
Well, it's going to be, and again, I don't laugh because nothing's funny about it, but I just look at things. So when you talk about like a tax cut, for instance, okay, so you're going to cut taxes, but anytime you cut taxes and then institute tariffs, what you just did is you just basically instituted a flat tax.
I know.
So it gets creative. You got to fund the government. Getting rid of the Department of Education, do that mean people don't have to pay student loans because there will be no department to collect those student loans, right?
Yeah. So it's interesting because and I know that they want to do different things around education and do some revamping and so forth. And I'm not opposed to it.
The environment,
but the environment piece is that like he's talking about cutting different things out for them.
Well, there'll be no more funding for like clean energy and things like that.
But to me, it's so crazy because when you really look at our climate control right now, everything that's going on and so forth, and then keeping our waters and streams and stuff clean, it's interesting how they don't want to fight for that when it's something that we definitely need. And the studies already been shown that if we do wind and solar power, just because of the plain states and Midwest states do that alone, we have enough energy to fund and to give energy to the whole country and then some. And so it's just interesting to see what this is going to play. And then it's interesting too that he picked, he started to put out all people he wants to appoint to his cabinet, and then he picked Robert Kennedy Jr. as over basically the FDA, all of our health pieces, Medicare, everything, and so forth. And it's interesting because he has this very strong stance on taking all of the chemicals, preservatives, and all the things out of the food industry. So he's really big on making sure that we have the healthiest food and so forth, especially since I don't know if y'all know this, in most countries, Americans' food is banned. You can't have the things that certain things.
I don't see that as being a bad thing.
No, I don't see it as a bad thing. I'm just saying.
Okay, what's bad about that?
So it's going to be interesting to see how they don't want to have clean energy, but you want to have clean food.
Right.
And then he also wants to take fluoride out of the water.
I think that might be a mistake.
I think that might be a mistake too.
Right. The whole thing is that, election have consequences. Mm-hmm. Part of those consequences is, who is elected. I know he got Marco Rubio. I think Marco Rubio might be a good choice, for Secretary of State.
I think that part is going to be a little interesting.
Yeah, I think he serves on the Foreign Relations Committee right now. So, I mean, that's qualified. A couple of choices I'm wondering about the Getz guy for Attorney General. I'm like,
I know, especially since he already got it. He already had. We have to continue to live our lives God's way. That's right, Latrice. So, but I'm curious about the Getz guy too. Yeah. The Gates guy, because of the fact that he already has an ethics violation against him right now. He had an investigation. So they want to look at the report.
Yeah, I think they scuffle in the report. Right,
and they're saying Republicans saying that they don't want him.
Right. Well, here's the thing about politics that you always going to find is that nobody's going to get a rubber stamp. Like even if one party controls controls everything, you're going to start seeing infighting to see who gets control of things. Right.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen. The other one was there was another choice that was kind of controversial. The former representative being over the spy agency.
I know. I thought that was weird too. So I'm just like,
so we'll see. But here's what I often tell people, that no matter who is in office, right? No matter who wins, there's going to be some positives and some negatives, but you just have to move in a direction of where the positive. So when you look at that, you would think that, okay, where would some money go? You're probably going to see like Small Business Administration get money. So if you were going to open a business, that might be a good time for the people who got 401ks, for the industries that are going to get the big tax breaks, right? There you can you can estimate that they're going to do well. So you know where you put your money with your 401k, because no matter who's there, I want my 401k to double. That's all I want. In 4 years, I wanted to double. So I tell people, just with the boogeyman and the scare tactics and it's the end of the world, only God controls that.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it's God's word. What the word of God says, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and all that dwell within it. Right. So I think we just have to continue to stand up, but also be wise and just continue to listen and see and ask for wisdom and strategy to move in this season.
Exactly. I say that, that everybody focus on what's best to them. I believe that social media has reprogrammed the psyche of the American people to make politics and people in politics bigger than they actually are, right? But each person has to live their own life, and they have to ain't nobody coming to save you. Democrats ain't coming to save you. Republicans ain't coming to save you. I don't care who you vote for, okay? They're not coming to save you. You have to focus on you and your family and your relationship with God, because your success or failure lies not on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, but it lies between your two ears. That's my next sermon when I come back off of vacation. It's going to talk about that God gives us the power to have wealth, and we have to decide whether we're going to be wealthy and blessed or whether we're going to be depressed and poor. Yeah. It's a choice.
It is. It's very much so a choice. So, I'm
going to be blessed by the best.
I'm already blessed by the best. So, like I said, no matter what, who president, what economy and whatever's going on, God already has elevated me and promoted me.
Because the weird thing about it, when you look at the economy, when the economy is at its best, is the worst time to invest money.
It is.
Right? Because the idea is buy low, sell high. When the economy is bad, most people start taking their money out of the market. It's like, no, don't do that. That's when you need to enter the market. Right? And that's because we do things by our feelings rather than wisdom. The Bible says, in all that getting an understanding. Okay,
so just keep watching, y'all. Also, a couple of updates. So, because we're in this holiday season, and so they're saying be aware of. There's a lot of fake websites from some of major pieces. So Netflix, Google, Walmart, Amazon, all those different. There's a lot of fake websites popping up, and what they're doing is it looks like the original website, and it's asking you to log in and put your password in. So they'll send you an email or something, and they're saying go directly to the site. So some of the things to look forward to is look at the URL. If it has like letters or something behind it, it's not a regular URL, then y'all know that that's
like this nice one telling me I can get 80% off for the Polo Factory by just putting in my social security number.
Right.
So don't put in my social security number. I wanted 80% off.
Okay. No. So, just that type of stuff, just be mindful and so forth of all those things going on. And then, like I said, always just go to the regular website, type it in yourself, and then don't click on all these different links and so forth, especially since, scammers are trying to they're trying to get stuff for this holiday season. And then they also said, just be careful too, because as the new administration is very big on crypto, you're going to see a lot of crypto scams and frauds and stuff too. So,
I'm done with crypto.
Oh, I know you did your
I'm done.
I'm not a crypto.
I ain't messing with crypto. Me and crypto broke up.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I'm just saying, be mindful, y'all, this holiday season. Be wise. Also, GM just announced that they're cutting 1,000 jobs, y'all. They are cutting 1,000 jobs. They're saying that there's a lot of uncertainty around how for them to really push electric cars, and they haven't really been able to push it and get them out there the way that they want to, or people buying them the way that they want to. So,
and now you got an administration that wants to, pump up the fossil fuel industry. So I think those two things go hand in hand. Although I think that electric vehicles, I just think that it was pushed onto the public too fast. Yeah. Because one of the things, I would love an electric vehicle, right? To never have to pay gas again.
Yeah.
But I'd be worried all the time that what happens if my car runs out on a dark highway in the middle of the night,
Well, I mean, that's why it's important to have that hybrid. So it takes gas and takes electricity and so forth. So you got that balance and so forth. Because they tell you that you should have the hybrid, because the hybrid is for those long roads for the gas purposes, and then your day-to-day stuff do the electric.
Yeah, I would do a hybrid. I could definitely see that. But the fully electric one, I'm like, I'm gonna take a pass on that.
Yeah. So just be mindful, y'all.
Now, what do you think about self-driving cars?
Mm-hmm.
Really? It is going to happen.
I mean, I know it's
Okay.
happening. It's going to happen. It's being tested, but
Can I tell a joke real fast?
Go ahead.
Okay, tell a joke real fast. But when we think about self-driving cars, in the early 1900s, when they were doing electricity and everything else, they strung the poles, hung the wires, brought them to the house, gave everybody a lamp and a bulb and everything else, and they hit the switch, and the lights came on, and the guy goes and get his lantern and light and say, "Wow, these lights are gonna make it real easy to light these lanterns going forward." Yeah. So sometimes we get stuck in paradigms. You do know self-driving cars are much safer than
yeah,
people.
I understand
Accidents happen
that.
because
But my thing, yes, accidents do happen because of people. But my thing is anything at this stage in this stage of the game where it's the car can drive itself and we got all these hackers that can hack into the computer systems. My thing is like, what if somebody has the ability to take over a car? You know, I've been watching.
They can do that anyway.
I know, but I've seen too many.
They can do that anyway, because if your car has any electronic functions, it can be hacked. You know, if you have anything that's internet based, right? So most cars have internet in them. You know, most of the cars that's made after 2020 anyway have the ability to have internet. And I mean, you know,
I guess. So
I mean, there hasn't been a lot of Tesla accidents.
No, it hasn't. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh man, the idea of getting in my car, going to sleep, and let my car drive me to work, I love it. Where do I sign? Because think about it, the cars are going to be talking to each other. So as they're moving, it's going to be literally almost impossible for two cars to run into each other, because each car going to talk to each other and say, "Oh, move over, oh, move over." And whereas a human might get nervous and run into a car, the computer going to be like, "If you move over 6 inches, I move over 6 inches, we're going to hit each other." And we're doing that in real time. I'm into technology. I love AI.
He a technology.
I love AI.
He love everything AI. Yeah, you know, my thing is like, I'm not against AI. I'm not against technology. I just want, he said, I agree with you, Mr. Latrice said. My thing of it is, I'm not against technology. I just know that people like to use things for the negative, and that is my concern.
But it's here. So the thing about it is people were going to do that anyway, right? So the government can put in regulations where they can, you know, make it illegal. So if somebody do something, there'll be some punishment for it, right? But here's my thing with AI. I believe, my personal opinion, I believe that AI is going to revolutionize medicine so quickly that in 10 years, people will be living 30 years older, because it's going to be able to diagnose, troubleshoot, and I believe that there's going to come a time where 3D printers are going to replace organs.
Oh my God.
I believe it's happening. I'm thinking this is probably 10, 20 years away. AI is going to revolutionize things so quickly. That and I know it's scary. It's scary, right? It's scary.
It's a little, yeah.
But you know, but it's here. And I'm like, well, let's just make the best of it. You know, I'm encouraging young people to go to school and learn how to use AI tools. If you don't do anything else, learn how to use AI tools before everybody else do. And then that is going to make you more valuable, right? Think about it. You write a dissertation in 2 hours. It used to take months. Yeah. Write a dissertation in 2 hours now, right?
Yeah, so, it's true. Because I've used some of the technology with photographs and so forth. So
I literally told it to make a video of me, and it literally made a video. It got the voice wrong, and it was a little jumpy. So there's some thing, but it literally took a picture of me and made a video with a voiceover of my voice. I'm like, this is really interesting. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's exciting to me. I'm an AI person. Anything.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not scared of it. It's just like,
just imagine we don't even have to come in and do our show. We'll be like, okay, just show me and Marquise in the show. Here are our topics for the day. All right, run it, and we can just be home.
To me, that's gonna make people lazy.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to be lazy. The word of God talks about laziness, and that ain't one of my things.
No. It's just going to shift things, right? Think about it. There used to be a time when you had to have a group of people to go and do agriculture when we was an agricultural society. Then machines came and did agriculture. People said, "Oh, it's going to be the end of the world," because
it made it easier. It did
make it easier. So just think about it. You will be able to do products and services around the world much easier because you will have tools to do it much faster. That's exciting to me. I love it.
All right, we'll see how it goes. All right, so other things in the news, y'all. Just continue to pray for the Northeast. They're dealing with fires now. They've had some very dry spells and so forth. So there's been some wildfires in the Northeast. They're saying 43 million people are under fire alert watch. in the Northeast, so in different parts of New York and so forth. So just be mindful, continue to pray, and of course, continue to pray for our West because they've been dealing with stuff. And Latrice says, "I just believe it's taking people's jobs." Unfortunately, I'm with you,
No, they're
girl.
gonna do something different. I guarantee you, they're just gonna shift to do different things.
Well, we have to see how that goes.
Yeah.
So that is so those are our inner news pieces. Oh no, we have to give our football updates. Oh, you know,
It's gonna be depressing. Tomorrow's gonna be a tough day.
this is the thing.
Last week was a tough week.
I am very glad that I have learned to love other teams. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not saying I'm still not a fan. I am still a fan.
I need therapy.
But I have learned after my loving Justin Fields and everything that was going on with him, I'm gonna just say it one more time. People can't say that it was him.
No.
People can't say, "Oh, Justin wasn't ready," or Justin did. Now I ain't saying that Justin still didn't have, still need to learn some stuff and need to develop his skills.
Because he was 4-2 when he was playing.
Right. He was, he was doing
4-2.
too. But I'm just saying, yeah, he was 4-2 when he was playing. All I'm saying is everybody was so excited about Caleb. Everybody was so excited about all these different things that they did. And we still looking at the same situation that we was looking at before. And all I'm saying is we need to change some plays. We need to change some coaches.
And you know what hurts for me?
We need to change culture.
Is that, I have a team, so I work in Milwaukee a couple of days a week, and I have to sit there in restaurants and people talk about how great the Green Bay Packers is.
I know.
And I have to sit there and be like, yay. I'm
So
not really in football because I'm not going to cheer for the Packers.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, nah. I have other teams that I root for. Let's pray for us. Pray for us, the Bears. Yes, Latrice, you're right. But I'm grateful that I where Justin went, I still support, and then Russell's there too. So
I like
Pittsburgh. So I call them my son.
The
The Ravens. I call them my sons because they old enough to be my children. So it's like Lamar, the Ravens, the Eagles with Jalen and Saquon. Oh, we do have to talk about. I know Saquon in a week and a half ago when he did that reverse hurdle. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Pittsburgh, the Ravens, the Eagles. I also like me some Devontae Adams, though the Jets still not doing as well as they should be. But all help. I don't know what's going on.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, I don't know if he just I don't know if he got old or what.
Yeah. It's speaking of old, did you see the Mike Tyson fight?
No.
Okay. So Mike Tyson fought this guy yesterday by the name of Jake Paul. Jake Paul is he is an influencer and he does boxing. He's actually, he's pretty decent. But so it crashed the Netflix servers.
Yeah, because everybody was ready to see the fight.
Yeah, and it crashed it. But it just goes to show you the drawing power that he has. But in the fight itself, it was really sad because Mike's skills has diminished so much. That's what I'm saying. It reminds me of, that when you go to the neighborhood carnivals and they had that old tiger there.
Yeah.
It's like the tiger, like 90 years old. It's not eating anybody, right? And that's what this was like. To see Mike Tyson, from what I know about him and in his glory, see them march him out there, and he just looked like the old man in the club. It was really sad. It was really sad. I mean, the guy he was fighting was so slow. I was like, the Mike Tyson 35 years ago would have took him apart in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It would have not even been a fight. But now, you're fighting against an old man. That's really
then I was
sad.
impressed
That'd
to
be
hear
like me
that.
fighting Joe Biden.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I heard that he went actually 8 rounds.
No, he did. He didn't get knocked out. He went 8 rounds and everything. But here
I hear the truth wasn't a really draw.
Yeah. No. Paul won. But the thing about it is that
David said he is infamously known for fighting people past their prime instead of fighting opponents
right
on the same
exactly
level than him. Right.
I mean, Tyson's almost 60 years old. Although George Foreman won the title in his 50s.
Yeah.
But I digress. But Tyson, he was so old, and it was the punch that got me. The guy only threw like 20. He only landed about 20 hits and threw about 8 and he only hit the guy 18 times in 8 rounds. I mean, that's not Mike Tyson.
Y'all know sound like.
Okay, so it's like, come on. You know,
So
then
it's
Jake's talking about fighting Floyd Mayweather. How old is Floyd Mayweather?
Now Floyd may knock his behind out. I'm just gonna say
Floyd
that
is
right
like
now.
old too. You
He
know?
old, but
Maybe he'll fight Sugar Ray Leonard next. He'll fight Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah. Come on, man.
when you do Floyd Mayweather, I think Floyd gonna
Come on.
Floyd
Now,
may
you
not
want to
go-
fight somebody? Fight Conor McGregor. I'm throwing the challenge out. Now you want to fight somebody that's retired? Fight Conor, because Conor will take him out.
Oh, for sure. So it's gonna be interesting, y'all. This whole sports arena.
Latrice says she'll like. I do like Jake. I just think he should be fighting old men. But
Right,
you know
I
what?
think
Think about
so.
it on the positive side. Mike Tyson made $20 million too.
Yeah, so
if
we
you think
think
about it,
we,
it'd be a promotion.
it was a good promotion for
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
He got
I think for $20 million, Jake, I'll take you on. I just thought about that. I'll take him on. Come on.
Just don't.
I mean, you know, I take him on. $20 million. I last around.
He's all else around.
I last around. What got me was Mike Tyson was fighting 2-minute round fights. And at the end of the 2 minutes, he was looking like he was just dog tired. Like, I'm like,
I'm sure he
2 minutes?
was.
2 minutes. But that's okay.
Think about it.
That's
You know, it's one of those things that he's older now. He can't do what
He's
he
a
used to
year
do.
older than me. That made me feel old. Cause I'm like Mike Tyson is a year older than me, and now I feel old. I was feeling good about myself before I watched that fight.
You said,
Now in my head, I'm thinking I'm all that, and I'm gonna go
Now
out
you
there
think
looking
you-
like Tyson.
now you think you old too.
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna strap on my boots and I'm gonna go back doing cable, and I'm gonna do that. Now I'm gonna be looking like Tyson doing cable. They're gonna be like, oh man, can you please sit down? Hold on, I'm gonna come up the ladder in a minute. He made me feel bad about myself, so I wouldn't feel sorry for him. Feel sorry for me. So that's okay.
funny.
That's okay.
So
So I'm going to the gym tomorrow. I'm going to get in shape because I don't want to be looking like that. I mean, he came out there, he had a gray beard. Like,
Oh my God! Oh no!
he was like 20 pounds overweight. He was all around like, I think Mike just woke up and like, I'm gonna go make $20 million a day. That's what I think happened. Mike like, okay, I'm just gonna get up. But he didn't get knocked out, right? He didn't get knocked out, and you know, he took the shots, so it lets you know he still got it. But okay. But let's talk about relationships.
So our relationship topic for today is Bishop. Did you?
You ain't getting me put out. Got nothing to say. You ain't getting me put out.
So our relationship topic. So so it was the Instagram reel that I sent to Bishop, and I was like, "Oh, we should talk about this." And so it's all about the. How do I say this? So it's all about making sure that you are not the right fit. How do I have to say it? Compatible, but making sure that you're doing the right things. So he was like, "Don't do the bare." So this person says, if you do the bare minimum, you need to just walk away.
You know, and I agree
And
with
he was
that.
like,
I
do
agree with
not allow people to do you the bare minimum.
Don't. I'm telling you, it is better to end a relationship if you feel like somebody is not giving that relationship their all. You deserve better. Don't let somebody treat you like anything. And I think people, because of loneliness and because of what they hear, they tolerate. You know, they tolerate people that don't treat them right. And I would tell anybody, if somebody, now if you're married, you need to go to counseling to get together. We're talking about, you know, I'm not telling anybody to leave anybody if you're married, but I'm saying, but if you're in a relationship and that person's not treating you right, not feeding your self-esteem, not valuing you, not sharing with you, you need to leave.
Yeah, because you know, so this person was just giving this. I wish I could play it out for a few minutes so y'all can hear what he was saying. But he was like, "Yeah, they give you the bare minimum. They're not giving you enough time. They're not giving you their best of their all."
It is called emotional and what I seen on that was the equivalent to emotional and romantic neglect.
Yes,
it was neglect. And I ain't letting nobody treat me like that.
Right.
You would find the door so quick you wouldn't even know what hit you.
Which is crazy, but there's so many people that are out here, Bishop, that are in relationships. Latrice says she strongly agrees.
Yes.
There's so many people that are in relationships.
Girl, you better make him love you. If he don't love you, find somebody else. Because here's the statistics. If you don't believe me, the statistics state that you have a 1 in 32 chance of meeting somebody that you're attracted to and a 1 in 64 chance of finding somebody that will love you. Right. It's just that you got to get through them 63 knuckleheads. Right. Which is why you got to take your time and get to know people and everything else. And you will find that person. So if you think that you can't do without them, let me let you know that's of the devil.
You can. And it's important for, I think a lot of times women do the settling thing. And I think it's important. And I think some men do too.
I was going to say, I was thinking men, well, maybe because I'm a man, you're a woman. So we're probably saying from different lenses.
I think from, Teresa, I'm not scared to say teach Mitchell, but my thing it really is about this is that I think it's important not to settle because you get in this place because so many people have been through the thing of like feeling like they're not enough, feeling as though that nobody will love them in the state that they're in, and they're dealing with their own internal turmoil instead of really understanding that, okay, I'm beautifully and wonderfully made. Like I'm a child of the King. You know, God don't make no mess. And the way God made me, there's somebody out there for me that's going to love me the way that I am.
Absolutely.
And I think too many people try to, in the relationship piece, try to present their representative, and then that representative only lasts for maybe 3 months. Maybe 3 months, the representative lasts.
I look at dating from a different lens. Like I like with me, when I was in a dating phase, right? But when I started to date somebody, I had already had come to the conclusion that I would be in a long-term relationship with that person. So I didn't need to go through that stage, right? But I just feel like that some people use that stage to kick tires for so long, but it depends. So, and not everybody want to be married, so I get that. But I believe that people use that stage to kick tires to do what they want to do. And I believe that for me, right, and maybe because I come at it from a different lens, I believe that it needs to be intentional. That's why I don't like that thing that the world do where they do the what I call the bachelor thing, where you dating 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people.
I know.
I'm not into that. I'm like, no. I'm gonna date exclusively. We're not
you need to, but because like we all know, relationships are work. You need to put the work in. You need to put time in.
Absolutely.
You also need to allow time to grow, and then it's also time to be reflective. And so, like, I think some of the things that I have learned, this second time around is looking at things in a very different perspective, understanding like, the baseline pieces. Are we friends? Can we get along?
Right. We enjoy just being in each other's company, and that's one of the things. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, enjoys being each other's company and getting along and so forth. But also, can you work together as a team and deal with the ups and downs? And I think the problem is that social media and the fairy tale effect, and they live happy after, does not present that there are going to be trials. There are going to be tribulations. Yeah. There's going to be times where it's going to be a season where you're going to have a lot of money. It's going to be a season where you don't have no money. Right. It's going to be a season where things are going to be health situations or mental health situations and all these other different things. Life changes, job loss, all kind of different things will go in. Loss of parents and so forth. You're going to go through things. And if you did not build the relationship on that foundation, just said that, hey, I am in the trenches with you. I am your support. Your safety. I am the person that you can talk to, and I got your back. If you built it on she cute or he cute or what they can do,
they got some money. Girl, he got money. He drive this kind of car.
Or what they can do in the bedroom and all this other type of stuff. It's not going to
right. And the truth of the matter is that you can have a relationship with all of those components, but it goes back to when somebody says that, well, why do you love me? And then somebody goes down, because you're beautiful. Oh, because you're smart. What happens if that person get hit in the face with a brick and ain't pretty no more? You're not gonna love them,
right?
What happens if they gain weight? You're not gonna love them no more.
Right. And it's those.
You should love them
for who they are.
Person. They don't have to change. They don't have to be nothing different. They don't have to put on no pretenses. It's not about all of those, those superficial things. That you found a person that you love and that you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah. Latrice says, yes, you learn all the seasons, including health. And I think that's key and important because as we get older and as we age, we're going to go through these different things. So if we don't have the relationships and so forth, where we put these things in perspective, like it's not gonna laugh. It's funny. There's a new artist that I found. It's a secular artist, but the name of the song is called Shoelaces. And she talks about, I love how you never tie your shoelaces. But she's really talking about the differences. I love the differences in you. I love the uniqueness in you. I love the different things. She said, sometimes I say that you a mess. She said, but that's one of the things that I love about you the best. And I think that's key and important that we get to this place of understanding that we love each other for who each other are,
with a
person and not the ideal.
Right. No, right. Not the ideal, not that, Prince Charming. I don't care who you with. They're going to have shortcomings. They're going to make mistakes. You have those seasons, like you say, when you disagree. But I believe that if you have strong communication skills, then you can get through disagreements, because basically it's about being heard and knowing other person valuing your opinion, not gaslighting you. If anybody's telling you that the way you feel is wrong, they're gaslighting you.
Right.
They should listen, and they might disagree. I might disagree when you say that I can't sing that good. I think I sound like Luther Vandross, so I'm going to accept your opinion. I hear your opinion. I just disagree with it. And it's about having those strong communication skills because who wants to be a prisoner? Who wants to be in a relationship? Would you want to be in a relationship with somebody where you can't express yourself?
No. I mean, well, from past experience, I know it doesn't work when you don't allow the person to be who they are fully in every aspect of life. They do feel like a prisoner. They do feel like they're lonely. They do, and then that's when people start to seek out other avenues to get what it is that they need. Absolutely. And so it's one of those things that I think is key. I think it's key that after you've been married for a long period of time, in a relationship a long period of time, don't take the person for granted.
Absolutely.
Always be thankful and appreciative and so forth. Have the open lines of communication. And I think it's something about where it's one of those things that I realized that none of us was really taught. It's about this safety thing. And when I say the safety thing is having a safe place to go when the world has, always fought up against you. And it's a place where that all I need to do is just get to the house.
And I know that, in my relationship, if my significant other if they're going through a problem, I want them to want to, to look at me for a resource for support and help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's really important because, because again, you're going to go through some things, but if two people broke, they're not as broke together. Right.
Right.
So,
and, and it's one of those things of like, how do you encourage each other in those moments? And I think that's key. I think we really need to probably have a show breaking down really on like, how do you get through when the money is lean? And
you need to share that link because that link, that was a good topic.
Yeah, I'll have to share. I'll have to send it to our engineer.
What's the name of it so they can probably find it? Because I really believe in it. I think that
it's called Quote King.
Yeah, because I think that people have been.
Relationship. Let me tell you something right now.
It's called Quote King.
Something's wrong. I'm talking about the simple stuff, the things that should be automatic. You shouldn't have to plead for someone to spend time with you, to communicate with you, to just.
Yeah, it's like communicate.
Go ahead and play it.
Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and play.
Have you found yourself begging for the bare minimum, and did it ever feel right? Because begging doesn't belong in a relationship. See, if you're constantly begging, that's their way of showing how little respect they have for you.
Thank you.
And listen, it doesn't matter if it's a friend, a partner, or even family. If you have to keep asking for the basics, it's a sign they're never going to step up.
Because I'm telling you, I mean, you have been in a relationship where people, they ain't got time for you. They're always busy. If somebody don't have time, if they don't have time for you, they don't have space for you or the capacity to treat you the way you want to be treated, let me tell you something. You need to run and don't walk as fast as you can because you will find somebody that will love you. It's the worrying about. See, the thing about it is you get what you focus on. So if you focus on that negativity and how that person won't treat you right, you're going to be stuck in that mindset forever. But when you say that I deserve it and Lord, I'm allowing, right? I always say, move on, get new cheese, right?
Get new cheese.
If you ain't got cheese, move on because you will find new cheese. So if you have a relationship, you make it a standard. That if anybody wants to be in a relationship with me, they have to treat me this way. But you also got to realize that when you find that person, you got to treat them the way they want to be treated.
Right. And it's so funny. Y'all
it can't just be all about you.
Right. And I'm a big music buff. So this person her name is two artists. The first artist is when you in that place of struggle, when you want understanding, her name is Lee Vasky. I'll find it.
Yeah.
She has a
Yeah,
song.
gospel
It's
artist,
called
yeah.
it's a
Well,
gospel artist, and
inspirational,
she's inspirational artist, and she says it's called Teach Me.
Yeah.
She said, God, you gave me this man. I don't understand him.
Yep, I got it in my
She
place.
said, it's my playlist too. She's like, God, you gave me this man. I don't understand him. She said, but she's like, I love him and I don't want to walk away. I don't want anything to happen to the relationship. She said, but God, I need you to give me what it is that I need so that I can understand him. And I think sometimes we have to understand in the relationship that there's going to be moments where we go ask God to help us to figure it out. How do we figure out, like, God, how do we figure this thing out?
Here's what I think. I think people in relationship should pray together, first of all. And then I think we ought to be praying, ask God for the wisdom to know how to love that person, because he made them, right? Instead of us trying to fit people to our mold. And that's the thing about it. People trying to get people to change. No, you got to love them the way they are. And if you don't love them the way they are, then you keep moving, because you don't got the right to come in nobody's life and play God. They had life before you came, and God forbid they didn't have life when you leave. So we have to say, Lord, teach me how to love them the way they need to be loved.
And then it's also, y'all hear me say this all the time. I keep telling y'all this is the next book. But it's called The Little Things. And it is the little things. I think we have gotten to this fairy tale world where we think is the flowers and the fancy dinners and it's the trips and all this stuff. And all those things are great. You do need those things in the relationships, but really can they run you some bath water?
Can y'all drink a cup of coffee and laugh together? You know?
Can y'all go on a walk together? Can y'all sit in there and do your favorite thing and his favorite thing and listen to music together? Can you all have a honest conversation about whatever, learn about history, watch a documentary together, and just grow together and have these engaging conversations? Do y'all send each other, me and my significant other send each other music that remind us of each other? So he'd be through it today, and all of a sudden I get a text message, and then I'm like, "Ooh, what song you sent me today?" And then I listen to it and I laugh because it's representative of who he is, or representative of who I am, or representative of what's on each other's mind.
Right. Just that you're thinking about each other and that, because you want to be, know that you're on your significant other's mind and they're on your mind and they're willing to be. Because what gets me is sometimes with relationships, they have to be this old structured thing and all of that. Sometimes you just want to be silly together. Sometimes you just want to, or sometimes you want to be serious together and talk about some things, right? It's about just engaging, being able to communicate with the other person and allowing them to empty themselves out and to pour into you. And then you're reciprocating that love and being able to pour back into them. That's relationships. This other stuff they got, I don't even want to.
That, and it's one of the, I'm with you. It's one of the things that my significant other always says. He loves the fact that I understand his story. And it's funny. We all writing a story. We all live in a story. We all writing out what our life is looking at right now as we go through our day-to-day process.
When you're not with him, do you be excited when you get back to him?
Oh my God, yes.
It's
funny because like I'll pull in the driveway and he'll be outside with the dog sometime, and we both do this smile like, "Hey." And it's like, "Hey," and then people will ask me how he's doing, and I'm smiling, and people, I recently saw some friends I hadn't seen in a long time, and they looked at me and they was like, "Oh my God," they was like, "You are glowing, you are very happy." I said, I am really happy. And so it's one of those things that Bishop always has taught us, that your significant other cannot make you happy, but they can enhance your happiness. And then you also have to understand too, that when you realize that you can't make that person happy and that person can't make you happy, but you can enhance the happiness, you can add to it. Leslie has a song, "What are you going to add to me?" And I think that's key and important for us to really think about it, because it's like, stop thinking about the worldly things and let's think about, the things that are eternal things that God talks about, but also really let's start to think about what are the things that you're adding. Are you adding joy? Are you adding peace? Are you adding comfort? Are you adding
respecting their life, right? Because like in the situation that
their goals and their passions,
they had a whole life before I came along. So I have to respect their life, right? Because that's what happens. A lot of times when people get in a relationship, they want to rip the other person from where they are and insert them, but that's not realistic of life, right? But it should be like, you have children, right? So when people have children, then they got responsibilities, and so the relationship should be in support of, because we know children are always nice and never get on our nerves. So we don't need to talk about that, right? So
And how about children? I don't care how grown they is, they still need their mamas and daddies. I don't care what it is.
they
It's
still
always
they,
they.
isn't it amazing you get to a point where your kids think you're the child?
Oh my God, yes. And then you know what?
And it's really funny. It's like,
I laugh at that because I think God got jokes because my significant other said this week, he was like talking about my oldest child. He was like, your oldest child to know how grateful and how blessed she really is to have you as her mother. I said, oh, she know. I said, that's it.
But,
she know.
But it's just something about kids. They get to that age and they feel like that they can tell you what to do and they have the right to. The thing about it to get me is just that righteous indignation that they have, that they feel, and it'd be like, A, I'm the parent. B, this is my house. C, go sit down somewhere, right?
And then D, well, let's put the shoe on the other foot, because when it's you and your thing, you don't want to hear nothing we got to say.
No, absolutely not.
Like,
I'm grown.
Right. Why you don't be in my business? So,
absolutely.
Go somewhere down. Right. Like, you can't chastise me if I can't chastise you.
And it's important to have a partner that can navigate that, right?
Yeah.
Because that is a challenge. So they have to be able to support you while not being detrimental to that relationship, right? Because sometimes people can be detrimental to those relationships.
Yeah.
And I often say that you do that by supporting the person and believing in them enough to handle their situations while you just give them support.
That's true. It's interesting. Bishop has talked about the kids and so forth. We in the next couple of weeks we're gonna bring on a blended family specialist. She's gonna talk. Her husband are gonna really talk about their story. How he had been married and she had never been married, and they got together and got married fairly quickly and blended the family, and then the ups and the downs and the things that they learned from it, and how their blended family has become so strong and strengthened and so forth, and how she's been able to help other blended families to really think through processes, because there's different things I think that we don't think about, the healing that needs to takes place depending on how the situation
what the dynamic
happens.
is that person divorced or is there widowed?
Yeah,
because those matter, because kids sometimes struggle with the new parent and the new independence that parent has. Yes. And they struggle with it. They literally struggle with it. And it's like the parent has to have that autonomy to go forward in life, whether it's through divorce. Because if you got divorced, kids sometimes always want their parents to get back together in their mind, right?
But and I think
and if you're widowed, then they feel like that you moving on in some way is disrespectful to the memory of your ex, right? And it's like, no, that was then, this is now.
But also they have to understand too, I say this all the time. Children have to understand that we as parents, y'all didn't come with no rule book. Y'all didn't come with no instruction manual. All of y'all are different and y'all change in phases. And yes, you will always be our babies, we also respect that you are also adults. And so we in turn ask for those same things. And sometimes we move in ways not thinking consciously that, you my child, but you 30 years old, you should be doing this and that. Right. And y'all still want to be treated like
you're 16
when you were 16. And I think in our mind,
one of my kids told me, I went somewhere. One of my kids told me, you just abandoned us this week. I'm like, abandon you? You XYZ years old. How did I abandon you? You grown. I left and went and came back,
But it's that whole traditional piece of like, well, you've always been here. You've been doing this and doing this. And then sometimes they think when it happened, when the changes and the boundaries, different things come into play, a lot of times they think it's because of the significant other. And it's really not because of the significant other. It may be happening while the significant other is in the picture and has moved into the life. But what I've come to find and realize that these are things that always need to be put in place. And if you having that outside person to be able to say, hey, why do you do so-and-so? And you'd be like,
it's growth, right?
I don't know. And it's growth. So I think it's important to have that growth and development in that piece and that way to be able to show our children where we're growing and so forth. And it also helps them to understand too, that it's certain things and certain, having that foundation of this is what our parent-child relationship is going to look like. Because I think sometimes our grown children want to be our best friends.
Right.
And it's certain areas that we don't feel comfortable as parents sharing with you.
No, I definitely agree. And you touched on a valuable point when you talked about that. You know, they only get access to so much information. They don't get to have the whole part, because you're an adult and you do deserve your privacy. Like they deserve their privacy, right? So, you know, we respect their boundaries.
Facts.
You know, we respect their boundaries. They have to respect ours too. And it's interesting. You know, I would probably love to do a show about, you know, with that the blended family part, about moving on, because you know, my children have struggled with the idea of me moving on, but it's like I have to move on. There's no back to go to.
I mean, and for me, I think mine, you know, it's funny. Their father actually gets married this evening, and so they're struggling with all of this, because I think the reality has really sunk in that, like, oh, like, she brought somebody new into the family. Now he finna bring somebody new into the family. Okay. And then they have this policy, because the person that I brought into the family also has children. The person that my ex-husband brought into the family, also has children. And my children is like, oh, we ain't taking no more siblings. Like, we're not taking no more siblings.
I just see a clothes sign on
right,
the
girl,
right.
They got a clothes sign. It's like, shoot, it's the four of us and the other people. When we gonna speak and be cordial, but we not letting them in. And I had to tell one of my children this week. I said, you know, that don't make no sense, right? And they was like, but it's always gonna be us. I said, I'm not saying they're gonna be your best friend. I said, but you do realize these people will be at family functions and birthday parties and all this other stuff. And then she kind of paused and she was like, okay, well, we'll talk about that later.
So it's interesting, but that's an interesting dynamic, right? That people have to navigate as people grow and as life change. A lot of times, our children, I need to call my children, my adult children, yeah, right? They just have to mature, and and sometimes that's a process for them to mature, because they feel like you're changing, and you're different, because they want it to stay the same. But life moves on, and you have to move on, because if you don't, you only got one option: forward or out. You know, that's all you can do.
And I think they have to get to the place of understanding too that we are human beings. We have needs. We have different desires. We want to be able to have a full and healthy life, and also understanding what your emotional and mental capacity is. And I think that's the key, because I think they want to live in a place of this is what was healthy and happy for them, and it might not be a healthy, happy place for us. Or it may not be a place where we can, like you said, or go back to, or there's no back to go to. And it's like, for me to move forward with my life, I actually have to move forward. I cannot sit. And, you know, some people want you to sit and stew in
and not only kids, sometimes people in your life
want you to sit and stew in it.
And it's kind of like, well, everybody else is living their life. I have to live my life too.
Right. You can't just, you know, it can't be this thing where people are like, oh, well, you should be sitting and stewing in it, because I think people have to understand what is that person's emotional and mental capacity. Because, like, for me, I am a very problem-focused, solution type person. I listen, I hear what you say, I ask you, do you need help in stuff? If you say you want an alternative, I'm gonna give you an alternative. But my thing is, I acknowledge, I apologize if I did something wrong, and then I'm already at, okay, how do we course correct? Right, and I know for some people, they're like, well, they like, well, can we just sit here? And I'm like, my mental capacity can't sit in here, because that puts me in a place of depression and anxiety. So I can't just sit here with you. Like, I acknowledge that you got these feelings, but I can't sit here with you for 6 months.
Date for a year and a half, and I'm thinking to myself, you're absolutely lost your mind, right? Because I understand what you're going through, because all of your life you've seen this picture, right? But you have to realize that life changes, and you have to change with life. And that's not just my kids. Sometimes it's those that my extended around me, right? Because I have one person that told me, and they meant well. They was like, I'm not ready for you to be in a relationship. I'm like, what do you mean you're not ready for me to be in a relationship? That is crazy to me, right? Right. But it's because people care about you, and they come to the table with their own needs, but they have to respect boundaries. Yeah. Healthy boundaries, right?
And I think kids are time goes on. Well.
Yeah, so that was a good topic. But I definitely encourage going to look at that, because you need to be treated right. I don't care who it is. If you feel like you always begging, and you always wanting, and you always striving to try to fix the relationship and everything else, you're in a wrong relationship. You need to find somebody that's gonna love you, treat you right, honor you, respect you, give to you, treat you right, meet your needs. Your needs are not optional. Do you hear me?
Not optional at all. And then, as my father always taught me, one lesson he said before he left this earth. He said, baby girl, he said, a man that really wants you and want to be with you will move heaven and earth to do whatever he got to do to be there.
To be there. Amen. If somebody's not going to be there for you and they want to slot you in the time and it's amazing what you will tolerate when you don't know no better. But then when you know better, you be like, oh yeah, no. To the left, to the left.
And look, I learned, y'all, that's the first chapter of the book of Happy Life. We talk all about being lonely, what lonely and isolation will make you do some of the stupidest stuff.
And don't be afraid to change if you ain't happy. Okay, we gotta go. We thank you. We thank you for joining us for this week's show. It is exciting. We pray that if you have time, you can come out to Revival Land Missionary Baptist Church, 9134 South on Cottage Grove Avenue. We have services at 11 o'clock, and we would love to see you any day.
Yes. And as we always say, don't meet us there, beat us there. And so we're super happy that you spent your Saturday with us. And have a wonderful Saturday, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye-bye. We got an exciting announcement in 2 weeks.
Yes, 2 weeks, y'all.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye, Rick.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
Views made on the preceding program are not those of WVTC Radio, iNetworks Communications, or their financial supporters.
Winning victory through Christ, WVTC Allsip Chicago, and iNetworks Communications Station.